Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. And yes, I know I'm supposed to be taking a break and supposed to be back on Monday with Mingles with Jingles, but, well, what can I say? I get bored. I've just gotten back from visiting my parents for the first time in far too many years. And I've started looking through the video contest entries that you guys had sent in. I've so far added 30 of them to a video shortlist, which is also a playlist that I've created on YouTube, so you guys can see the kind of entries that people have been submitting. And that is now also up on YouTube. I'll be adding more and more videos to that playlist as the weekend passes by, as I'm spending lots and lots and lots of time checking out the videos that you guys have sent in. In the meantime, I thought I would also pop up another World of Tanks video today, and this was actually sent in by a YouTuber and Twitch live streamer who should need no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway because it's only polite. The mighty Circonflexes, who I've played with many, many times on his Twitch live stream. He's in the LTTB Soviet Tier 7 light tank, and disclaimer out of the way at the beginning of this video, I do not like this tank one bit. Now that does not mean the LTTB is a bad tank. I'm just very, very bad in it because I can put up with a lot of bad things in a tank. I mean, I love the TOG too, and it's terrible, but the one thing I just can't handle in a tank is a lack of gun depression, and the LTTB may have the worst gun depression of any tank in World of Tanks. So I really don't get along with this tank. Having said that, it does have a lot going for it to counterbalance the fact that it's almost Chinese in its inability to point the gun down. It's fast, it's got strong frontal armour, it's got good penetration, it's got a rapid rate of fire, it's got a punchy little gun, which is also quite accurate, very un-Soviet-like gun. But that lack of gun depression just kills it for me. Doesn't appear to bother Circonflexes, however. And this is what I hate about Circonflexes. When I say hate, I mean it in a good way, because like most of you, I have to work hard to get a good result in World of Tanks. Circonflexes just makes it look so damn easy. I hate him. Wait until you see what he pulls off in this match. And this is why I hate him, because he does it all the time, and he's just so casual about it. Anyway, down to the commentary. You'll notice he's got the tank positioned on a slight downward slope, so he doesn't really have to worry about the gun depression at all here. And he's managed to get the side of this target too. Then he takes a hit and loses his tracks, so he's already had to burn his repair kit, get his tracks back up and get down off that ridge line where he was a sitting duck once he'd been spotted for all these enemy tanks. Now, most light tank drivers, upon being spotted, shot at and hit, would immediately turn around, burn rubber, head in the other direction, break contact, drop out line of sight again, get some distance between themselves and whichever tanks were shooting at them. Circonflexes doesn't play like that. And with a 2.1 second aiming time on this 85mm gun, you'd be surprised at the amount of snapshots like that against the VK over there that actually hit the target. And then just as I say that, the second one doesn't. What do you know, Jingles? Nothing. But then he does it again and scores a crit, possibly injuring the commander just before the VK was knocked out. Then he advances on the Japanese premium heavy tank number 6, which is essentially just a Japanese copy of the Tier 7 Tiger, except at Tier 6 with less hit points on the short 88mm gun. And he's not actually the one doing the spotting here. So neither the heavy tank number 6, that he's just killed, or the Tiger 2 there, can see him. So he can keep firing at them without any fear of return fire. And it's only when he inches forward slightly there that he does get spotted, but it's not the Tiger 2 that spots him. I think it's actually the Skoda T40 that you can see up there to the north, and then some shots do start coming in from that side, but you'll see as he pulled back just as he got spotted, it was enough to put that building between himself and all the enemy tanks up to the north there. With the Skoda T40, we know there's at least a Nassau up there with them as well, and as you saw, that Churchill drove past Circonflexes, he blundered right into that fusillade of gunfire, and all the other tanks that have advanced further north from this position are either getting picked off one by one, or they're being forced to stop, dig in and take cover behind the wrecked buildings. And things aren't looking too good around this side either. Circonflexes' team are losing 5-9, and there are enemy tanks basically pressuring them all into one corner of the map. So unless somebody does something quick, the entire team are going to get caught in a crossfire from the north and the east. The scores are now 5-10, but they've bought themselves a little bit of breathing space over on this side. They're no longer under immediate pressure after forcing that Tiger 1 back off under threat from both Circonflexes, rapid fire an 85mm gun, and the big old gun on that OI over there. But they definitely need more breathing space, they need some space to manoeuvre here. So Circonflexes pushes out onto the flank, spots a low health target that he can potentially kill with one shot, gets the tank stuck momentarily, kills him, gets spotted, pulls back. T-25-2 approaching, but despite watching Circonflexes just kill that WZ-131 right in front of him, he hasn't got the gun pointing at Circonflexes, so Circon's able to pop out and put one into it. Thinks about doing it again, but in that position it's not so much the T-25-2 that you have to worry about, it's all of the other tanks on the far north end of the map, all of those hidden tank destroyers that the T-25-2 is spotting for, and he's thinking about popping around and maybe taking the guy from the rear, but again he's spotted because he's within 50 metres of the T-25-2, and the threat is not the T-25-2 itself, it's all of the tanks that saw this LTTB pop up next to the T-25-2, and they're turning their guns and they're waiting for him to pop up. So he thinks, screw that, they're outnumbered 8-3, he's the only one on his team still alive who's managed to kill anything, and when you're in these kind of situations, heavily outnumbered like this, it always pays to stick together with your teammates because, well, never discount the value of teamwork. If nothing else, it gives the enemy something to shoot at that isn't you. So he manages to get behind the Tiger 1, the first shot fired on the move bounces, the second shot doesn't, so the IS is still breathing for a few more minutes. Gives the enemy team something else to shoot at. Unfortunately, they're closing in. Unfortunately, now that he's here, this is a terrible position to fight from in an LTTB. You have to crest a ridge, even though it's a very low ridge, it's enough of a ridge with the LTTB's horrible gun depression that you have to expose so much of the tank to return fire in order to be able to point the gun at a target, and there were at least 3 enemy tanks that would have been able to shoot at him, and those were just the ones that he could see. And in the length of time it took me to explain exactly why he bugged out and left the IS there, both the IS and the OI are dead. He is the last tank on his team against 7 enemy tanks, although it's very shortly, judging by the way this T-25-2 is driving, going to be 6 enemy tanks. What is he doing? Hello? Can you see the tank behind? Did you see that? Just herp-a-derp-a-derp-a-derp. Oh, what's that banging noise? Can we have more enemies like that, please? Well, anyway, T-25-2 taken out of the equation, but judging by the way he was driving the tank, probably not a major threat. Of course, once again, just like before, it's not the T-25-2 himself who is the issue, it's the fact that he spotted him and gave his location away. And if he was in a tank with very good frontal armour, good gun depression for example, that he could get hulled down in an artillery safe position, then staying in that location and just waiting for them to come after him, would be a good plan. But he's not. He's in an LTTB, so rather than hang around in the location where he was spotted and just wait for them all to rush him, he relocates and he waits for them to come and investigate the position where he was last spotted, so he can take them out one at a time. And to be completely fair here, if you look at what tanks are remaining on the enemy team, they're almost all either artillery or tank destroyers. In fact, the only tank they have that could be considered a reasonable scout under these circumstances was that guy, the Skoda T-40. And well, you know, artillery and tank destroyers, they do like camping their bushes, don't they? And that could be an issue, because if they are all camping their bushes and he has to go and find them, they're all going to get the first shot off against him, light tank camo bonus while moving or not. So are they all camping their bushes, or did they all come down to support that Skoda T-40? And while Circon didn't get spotted by the Skoda T-40, the Skoda T-40 could have told them from which direction he took the hit. In which case they're all going to be coming up this road, and oh look, there they are. Jackson takes the shot, misses. Flat Panzer takes the shot, misses. Circon takes the shot at the Flat Panzer because he's on low enough health that he can one-shot kill him and does not miss. Again, he's firing at targets that are at a lower elevation than him. He's firing at them downhill, so the bad gun depression of the LTTB isn't really a factor against him here. But then there's the Nashorn on the flank, so he can't sit around in that position, having been spotted, with the Nashorn taking flanking shots at him. He's broken contact from the Jackson again. Is the Jackson going to be pursuing him? I guess we're going to find out. So, he knows where the Jackson was, he knows where the Nashorn was, but we haven't seen the Dicker Max. So where's this guy? Checks the flank there for the Nashorn, doesn't appear to be trying to get around behind him. Would like to know where the Dicker Max is. Anybody trying to sneak around from here? Nope. Nothing spotted, not detected. Let's go and deal with that Jackson. We know he's alone, for now, so we need to finish him before he gets any backup. But you're going to be vulnerable while cresting the ridge because of your poor gun depression, so uses the rock, uses the bushes and the trees, sticks to the side. Jackson puts a shot into him anyway, but the LTTB has got some trollish frontal armour for a light tank, and he's almost certainly either damaged his ammo rack or killed his loader, because the Jackson, even with a 90mm gun, should have been able to fire again. But he didn't. He's dead. Now it's 1 against 3. Unfortunately, the Jackson, again, spotted him. So he loiters around here for a bit, doesn't want to get shot at and killed by the artillery, keeps them guessing, waits until he disappears from the map, and then starts heading, looking for more victims. And you have to figure that the enemy team are going to be sweating by now and might be regretting their hasty decision to no cap and kill all. And oh, there's the Digger Max, and he's almost certainly got 6th sense as he scrambles backward over the ridge, desperately trying to get out of line of fire. Circon manages to clip him with 1 shot, but 1 is all he's going to get, and somebody has decided that maybe we'd better start capping, because this LTTB doesn't appear to want to die as easily as we'd hoped. So who's going to be capping? It could be the Nassau, but it could be the artillery as well. It is the Lorraine 155, and it's pretty quick, and in the absence of a spotted target to shoot at, going for the cap seems like the sensible thing to do. But oh, there's the Dicker Max again, and again he's desperately trying to reverse over the ridge, almost certainly got 6th sense, but he did spot Circon. So whoever's in the cap circle, if they're paying any attention, has to know that Circon's closing in order to reset the cap, and is going to know which direction he's coming from. So watch what he does. He fakes a move for the cover of the bushes over there. By now, he's disappeared from the radar, and instead he moves over to this bush, but he doesn't take the shot immediately, and it is the artillery. Instead, he backs up until he's more than 15 meters away from the bushes, which means that now he can fire through the bushes without inflicting a camo penalty on the bushes, being spotted by the Lorraine and potentially being killed by the Nassau. Although he was never in any danger of being killed by the Nassau. In fact, the Nassau has to be sweating bullets round about now, because he's caught in the open, he's on very low health, and, well, it's not often Circon misses. You see, this is why I hate him. You can understand, can't you? Look at that. He's just showing off. If you like what you see and you want to be further disgusted by just how effortless he makes it look while playing World of Tanks, and you've caught this video within the first few thousand views of it being uploaded, he's actually live streaming right now on Twitch. But he's also been uploading a lot more of his stream highlights to YouTube lately. In particular, you really need to go and see his Crusader 3rd Mark of Mastery highlight video, which I watched just before rendering this one and pissed myself laughing at. Be warned, however, it's definitely not safe for work. So, yeah, Circonflexes, this is why we hate him. Hope you enjoyed today's, well, I suppose you could call it a bonus video. Technically, I am still taking a break for a week. And enjoy your weekend, folks, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.